Hello everyone, welcome. It's Race on Nights. It's Monday nights, the PC League. I'm Nick. We're round number 2 for Bathurst, and we're very early. So yes, it's quite frustrating because we've still got 14 minutes before qualifying kicks off, and usually we start earlier, but that's not happening tonight for whatever reason. They forgot. Anyway. Alright, cool. Let's just see what we can do. So round number 2 and 9. Last week was Hilton Park. This week at Bathurst. Next week at Suzuka. Then we'll take a little break. Last week it was Dirk Donk that took the victory for Pro Class. So he came out and absolutely smashed him. He won by a considerable amount last week. So definitely in his favourite car, the Aston Martin. Definitely in his favourite car, the Aston Martin. So blew the field away. Won quite convincingly. Silver class was Neil Fakeney. So I don't think he can make it this evening. Oh no, he can. He's here. He was the silver class victor. So there was only two cars in silver class last week, and he finished ahead of the other one. That was Peter Wall, last year's reigning silver class champion. And then you've got the AM class winner, Herbertron, who was the AM class victor last week. There was only 2 in the AM class last week as well, he and Joshua Wilson. So so big congratulations to him, the Red Rebel Racing in the chat. Quite happy about that. So let's have a look at the standings. So it's essentially what the finishing order was last week. So you had Dirk Donk there in the Aston Martin. Mike East, the Mike East fan club in the chat last week. In the Ford Mustang, Benjamin Hignett. So they had a cracking battle for second and third there last week between those two. So Mike East was able to get the quicker pit stop and jump Benjamin Hignett there, and his tyres, I think, just sort of fell off the cliff a little bit towards the end there. So they had to settle for second and third. Jack Steele was in a very solid 4th position behind those guys. Paul Russell, 5th in the Bentley last week. And then Mitch Hayes finished 6th. 7th was Terry Rayton. Max Ricker probably didn't have the race that he wanted. He ended up finishing 8th. He started from the pit lane, I think, from memory. James Pierre-Reid had some good battles in there, and then Matt Frost as well in the 666 Mercedes. He finished in 10th position. In terms of the silver and the AM championship, silver, as I mentioned, Neil Fakeney took the class victory, so he's on top there, and Peter Wall. There's only 2 silver drivers. There's 4 silver drivers tonight, which is good. And then the AM, it was Robin Herbert there in first, Wally Masterson sitting there second, and Joshua Wilson in third. So we've got Wally Masterson and Zach Jensen in the AM class this evening, which brings us to our track. So I think needs very little to no introduction. It's a track that was just raced on yesterday for the Bathurst 1000. It's Mount Panorama, so it's quite a long circuit. Let me get my track map. It's good. I don't know exactly how long it is off the top of my head. It's got about 23 corners, lots of famous corner names as well. throughout. 6.2 kilometres. There you go. Yeah, lots of undulations, lots of famous corners, famous names, famous races. So this is what it looks like right now. Live pictures, and as you can see, there's 9 minutes. So we are early, just through. We start early for all the 100-minute races, but they forgot to start early tonight, whatever that means. Anyway. Cool, so 9 minutes. I might just leave it on the screen. I'm not going to talk for 9 minutes because that'll get pretty boring. And there's no point in stopping the stream now either. And then restarting it. We're kind of beyond that stage. So what I'll do is I just won't talk. I might just flick through some of the images over the next 8.5 minutes before we get qualifying done. It'll no doubt be more than 8.5 minutes because someone will be out there doing laps after we've gone 000, and we'll all have to wait for them to finish. So depending on how many of them, we could be 10 minutes. We'll see how we go, but I'll be back on in about 8 minutes or so. Alright, back. So, just got a couple of people. There we go. All done.
Red light, green light. Go, go, go.
To do this. So Hignett is going to be the first car out of the pits. Steele. Looks like Vinny Kimiro is in there as well. Who else is out there? Chris Hildebrand. So he wasn't here last week. Mitch Hayes certainly was. As mentioned, Vinny Kimiro, Frost, Terry Brayton in the laundry house. Paul Russell is out there. Peter Wall. James Pierre Reid got his livery this week. Normally, Max Ricker is out there. And then here's Adrian Rice. Here he is. You'll see it in a second. There it is. Got an awesome looking old school GIO livery for his Mustang. So good to see Adrian out there tonight. Watching Jack Steele, so it's a relatively long lap, 6.2 kilometres, so only 15 minutes for qualifying. Jensen, I still haven't nailed that. I did download it. It came up different in my when I was having a look at it, so not too sure what's happened. But let's go with Benjamin Hignett. Lap at Bathurst. Great hard. First gear for turn 1. This is held corner, left-hander, which leads onto Mountain Straight. So 1.1 kilometres in length is Mountain Straight. Down the hill and up into turn number 2, which is Griffin's Bend. Second gear, right-hander. All the way towards the wall. Then coming up to turn 3, the cutting, aptly named because they cut into the mountain to put the road in there. And he goes up through 4, 5 and 6. Moves over towards the wall, up through Reed Park, through Frog Hollow, up through Swilman Park as well. Going through McPhillamy, across Skyline. There's the descent down through the S's and into the dipper. This is Forest Elbow. And it's foot flat to the floor for the 1.9 kilometre long Conrod Straight. Let's see what sort of speed he does here. Speeder, let's see, 260, 275, 280, 287. Touched on there. Through the trace, on the exit, and then turn number 23, which is Murray's Corner. And that will be a lap Bathurst. Let's see what's up to him. Here's Jack Steele. Kinero was behind these guys as well. Yeah, there he is. Hildebrandt coming through now as well. Jensen, he's coming through. There's the 6. That's when that Frost setting his time. Here comes Terry Rayton. So 2:06.87 is the fastest time of the session so far. Car number 2, that's Nando Latenzio in the BMW. Let's see what sort of time he sets here on his first trip around. Invalid, he's going to have to go again. Here's Mike East. So last week, P2 for him. He moves up into P10 for now. Number 95, that's Jensen. He hits the line. 13th is where he will remain for now. Get someone a little bit closer towards the end. This is Wally Masterson. Barreling down Conrod Straight through the chase. Got a few Fords in the field today. 4 in total. Let's see what he does once he hits the line. Good enough for 13th right now. Neil Fakeney making his way into 11th position. Here's Joshua Wilson. This will be his first timed run. See what he does. We're already a third of the distance of the third of the time through his qualifying session. Here's Hignett for his second run. I think he improves a 2:385. Here's Hildebrandt setting his new time. He's 6/10 up. So he will improve. He goes into P12. What about Paul Russell? Moves up into 6th position. Here's Mitch Hayes. Currently sitting in 7th spot. Too far away from the halfway mark of quali. Nando Latenzio coming through. Oh, that's no good. Not too sure what's happened to him there. He's off into the pits. Let's go back to Jensen. Currently 15th right now, a 2:04.930. We've got 8 minutes left on the clock. Hignett leading the way. And looks like Jensen is aborting that lap. Here's Wally Masterson again. 1.5 tenths up on his best time. Hignett's back out there on another run, 1.5 tenths faster. Ricker and East have set identical times. So a 2:07.90, both identical times. And they did an identical second sector. So it was only Sector 1 and Sector 2 that they were separated. And then they came back together again. So just over 4 tenths off the fastest time of Benjamin Hignett right now as Wally Masterson. He crosses the line. Here's Chris Hildebrandt. Down through the gears in that Porsche. Can't miss it, the 111. He heads down to Murray's. Gets it up on the curb on the exit. Is he going to improve on his time? Not good enough to move up a spot. Peter Wall. He improves his time but doesn't improve his position. Here's Michael East. Or Mike East. P4 right now. So he and Max Ricker still have set identical times. Vinny Canero has just snuck in there into P2. So 2:06.05. Cracking time from him. Just under 4 tenths the difference between he and P1. 6 minutes left on the clock. East is not going to improve his time, so he will remain there in P number 4 for now. Max Ricker currently occupying P3 just ahead of him. Then Rayton, Hayes, Steele, Russell, Frost and Reed. And it's 5 silver drivers in a row from 11th to 15th. That's Hildebrandt to Hurley. And then the highest of the AM drivers is Masterson. And that was Mark Hurley setting a time. So down there in 15th position. Here's Neil Fakeney down there in 12th right now. 4 tenths off the pace from the next position, which is Hildebrandt in 11th. He's improving by just on 4 tenths now. We'll see if that is able to maintain to the end of the lap. He does. He goes into P11. Plenty of drivers out there right now. Only a couple in the pits. That's Wilson and Herbert. Everyone gearing up for their final runs. This is Hildebrandt. He's not improving on his time right now. And he has aborted that, so he's off. Here's Wall. I'm keeping an eye on the top drivers right now with Hignett, Canero and Ricker. So they're all on their out laps right now. So they're getting ready to go for their final run. I love that the meme on the Mustang is to run Holden V8 supercar liveries. Yes. I did have a look at that. I found that quite funny. Here's Wall here. What about Hurley? He's improving. What about Hignett as well? I'll see if I can catch up with him because we've only got less than 4 minutes left. I'll try and get all of these times here. Here's Hurley, another Red Rebel man. There's plenty of Red Rebel races throughout. Here's Hurley, and 15th is the best he can muster right now. This is Hignett. A little bit of cloud coming over right now. Track is at optimum though. Got a yellow flag through there. I'm not too sure if that was for Hignett or not. Looks like Terry Rayton has started his fast lap, so we might just duck away. Let's have a quick look at Masterson. He improves his time but not his position. Here's Wall. He's looking to improve his 4/10 up on his best time, so that'd be enough to leapfrog Rice, who's sitting in 13th position. Let's see what he can muster here. He had the pace to leapfrog Rice. He still does, and he does end up doing that. So 13th position for him. Frost is out there on a fast lap as well, keeping an eye on the top guys. I'll click over to Rayton shortly because we've only got just over 2 minutes remaining. And it's still Hignett leading the way by just under 4/10. The difference between he and Kinero. Rayton there in second and third, sorry, he's half a second off the pace. And then Ricker and East still cannot be separated. 2 minute .790 is their two identical times. Let's see what Frost does. Just in 8th position there. Hurley coming through. He didn't race last week. Back for this week. Just nursing that Ferrari through the final turn. Goes up into P14. What about Terry Rayton? Just making his way out of the chase now. Down into the final turn. He's not going to improve on his time. So he'll have one more crack at it if he wants to, if he's got enough fuel to go around, or that might be it for him. He's still, he's looking to improve his time. He's a couple of tenths up. That'd be enough to leapfrog him up into 6th position. He'd take that spot away from Hayes. See if he can hold on. He does. So he goes up into 6th position. Nando Latenzio trying to put a time run in. 18th is the best he can muster right now. Here's Hignett. He's not going to improve on his time right now. He's 1.7 seconds off his best, but he's got a clear gap of 4/10 the difference between him and Kinero. And Mike East just pops into 2nd position there, so he just pips Kinero now, as we can see him coming down down Conrod Straight. Sorry. He's going to have to make up about a 10th to try and get back onto the front row of the grid. Only 15 seconds remaining in this qualifying session. Stu Barkley. Hey Nick, hope everyone is well. How are you, Stu? Good to have you in the chat. Here's Kinero trying to improve on his best time. Made up a bit of time under brakes but lost it in the wash. So good enough for P3 for now. That's probably where he's going to begin the race. Matt Frost crosses the line. Here's Hayes looking to improve. He improves his time but not his position. What about Terry Rayton? He's up by 3/10. So he's on track to snatch a front row grid spot here. Could he take pole position? He's half a second off. Right now he's up by just over 4/10. So you need to make up a 10th through this final turn. If not, though, he'll definitely be starting from the front row of the grid. He goes into P2, so nice work from him. Hignett having another crack here. It's gone 000. He's not improving on his time. We'll flick across to Latenzio. He's up on his best time right now, just coming out of the chase. 2.5 seconds, so that'd vault him up the standings. Probably around about 15th, roughly. We'll see if where he shakes out. 14th, in fact. There we go. Here's Fakeney. He's up by 4/10, so that would get him probably around P9 at this stage. He'll have to hold on to it, though, as he comes out of the chase here. Head down to Murray's. It's a long lap around here. Fakeney making up plenty of ground here. Can he jump into the top? He will jump into the top 10 here. How high will he get? P9. Nice work. Max Ricker looking to separate himself. He goes into under the 2nd row of the grid. And Benjamin Hignett, he's going to improve his time again. A 2-minute .212 on his final trip around. So he is on pole position. Terry Rayton, Mike East, Ricca, Kinero, Steele, Hayes, Frost, Fakeney and Russell. That's your top 10. Fakeney slipped in there into P9. Great job from him in the silver class. And Jensen in the AM class. It's pretty much AM from 17th to 20th. That is our grid right now. James Pierre Reid just out there finishing off his lap. We're all just waiting for him at the moment. There we go, timed out.
Alright, we have some wet conditions. Remember that curves are slippery and watch your braking distance.
Alright, there you can see it is raining conditions. So we are set for a wet... is it already... rain looks like it's already stopped. Might be some greasy conditions to greet these drivers. So they'll have a choice to make whether to start on the wet or the dry tyre. They started the drive, we could see some slipping and sliding in the opening stages of this one. So I'll be back in about 90 seconds to 2 minutes and we'll get round number 2 underway.
Seconds.
Oh, we're back, everyone. So, sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. I was trying to work a couple of things out at the same time there, but we're all set. Got back just in time, and we're about to get this one underway. Here we go. As they make their way towards the line, we'll get the signal any second now.
Green light.
There it is. And round number 2 is underway. Hignett looks like he got a pretty good jump. So did Rayton. East and Ricker going side by side through turn 1. Everyone else has managed to make it through relatively safely. They have. Latanzio making up a spot. Frost made up a couple of spots there as well. Ricker and Canero have swapped spots as well. East sitting there in P3 as Hignett goes up through turn number 2. They're making their way up. Oh, what has happened here? My goodness gracious. Let's go to the replay. Let's see what's happened. So this is into turn number 2. Did it happen? Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's Frost. That's Ricker. That's Steele. That is Hildebrandt. That is Hayes in there. Oh dear, that's not what you want at turn number 2 on lap 1 of a 100-minute race. So they're all continuing on. Hignett leading the way. He's got Rayton charging after him. There will be some upset in the voice chat. Yeah, most definitely. It's not what you want. So the top 3 haven't moved positions. Frost is already up 3 spots. Russell and Reed are both up 4. Latenzio up 5. So there's been some movers and shakers in this opening lap. There's been some drama as well. So the biggest losers out of that, look at that. Poor Max Ricker. That is not a very healthy Porsche at all. And Jack Steele in the Audi. So those two are limping back to the pits. It's going to be a very long evening for both of those guys. They should take a leaf out of this man's book. He had a couple of rough outings last season. Never quit once, though, did Benjamin Hignett. So he is leading the way right now from Rayton, East, Canero, Frost, Russell, Reed, Hayes, Latanzio, Peter Waugh coming across the line. That's Mark Hurley looking to put a move on Jensen there. Can he get it done? Might be think he can. Yeah, he can indeed. Nice work there from Mark Hurley. Good return from him. To go on board with Mike East. He's hunting down Terry Rayton now, who is doing the exact same thing on Benjamin Hignett. So we've got a tight race for first, second and third. And then there is the position for fourth. So these top four have kind of broken away a little bit from the pack. Got some moves going on a little bit further down the field. Adrian Rice has made a spot up into 13th, so he's made up 2 spots from where he started. Robin Herbert, he is up 5 positions. Thanks, James Mack, in the chat there. He's up 5 spots into 15th position. Let's go have a look though at the front of the field. This is where the action is right now. So Hignett had a couple of tenths over the rest of the field. Brayton giving chase, as is East and Kinnearo. All within a second of one another. Around about half a second. The difference between all three. As they make their way down Conrod Straight. East ducking into the toe of Rayton. Pull it up under brakes. Out of Conrod through the chase. So it's going to be a battle of patience. We saw Hignett last week. Tyres just went towards the end of the race. That was only a 60-minute race. We're doing 100 minutes tonight. So we'll see how his tyre management skills can cope. Hayes getting past Reed. How did that happen? Oh, so Reed has gone deep at the chase there. Managed to pull it up though. We get a nice view of the top of the car, and that was the reason for we're back to live images a little too early. 50% chance of rain as well. There we go. So it doesn't look like it in the next at least 15 minutes. Track has already gone to greasy. So track temperature 26, air temperature 21. So I don't think we're going to get any rain in the short term, but it can change pretty quickly. We'll see if that is the case this evening. As Hignett continues to lead this one. Rayton, East and Kinnearo. Oh, Kinnearo with the big slide. Let's see that again. Watch this. And oh, that's what's that? Is that a glancing blow? I believe from memory it's 2 times. I'm not too sure if that's the time or the chance of rain. What I saw on the... can't remember what I saw on the Discord. I know that there's no limitations in terms of pit stops and strategy and whatnot, so as it normally is in these 100-minute races. As we're watching East trying to work the way past Terry Rayton, which is absolutely no easy task whatsoever. Looks like Rice has managed to get past Hurley. Let's see how that evolved here. We'll go on board with him. Listen to just the raw power of that Mustang. So we'll cool off at the end of the race. There you go. Oh yeah, it's time that he's talking about. Yep, beautiful. We go back to live images. Let's go back to the battle between Rayton. Oh, he's got Rayton and East. He's got Kinnearo all over the back of him now as well. So we're going to expect it to cool off at the back end of this race. Kinnearo just runs a little bit wide through there. He's doing a good job holding on to these guys though. Hignett just opening up a bit of a gap now over Rayton. Currently is sitting at 1 second. Last lap around a 2:03.965. Fastest lap of the race, but very, very early days. Track has been upgraded to fast. So getting better and better conditions we go through this one. Where is Max? Hey, Lee Perkins has joined late again. He's out there. He's racing. He was a late entry last week. I was going to say, let's have a look where Max Ricker is. So he is in P20 right now. He's 15 seconds behind Wilson there in P20 right now. So back to the battle out in front. Kinero was actually faster than the 3 cars ahead of him. No, the 2 cars ahead of him, sorry. Rayton and East. By a few tenths. Right shoe, let's go Mike. So yeah, Mike East definitely had a bit of a cheer squad last week. We'll see if we can cheer him on to victory this week. A long way still to go in this one. We've gone 8.5 minutes so far, so it's still very much the embryonic stages. Hignett does a 2:02.957. Rayton with a 2:02.5 on that trip around, so he's making up a bit of ground on Hignett. Currently 7/10 the difference between the two. Scanning down the field, rest of the field sort of spreading out a little bit right now. Hayes and Russell, they've got a bit of a battle going on right now. That's the Bentley you can see up ahead of him there. And then Hurley and Rice, they're hunting down Masterson in P11. Fakeney, he's doing a good job holding on to Jensen right now. So he's dropped 7 spots from where he began the race in P9, currently down to 16th. This man here, he's dropped 12 spots, so currently circulating in P18, and he hasn't pitted, so that damage that he suffered, he's dealing with that right now, and he's going to have to battle on until the first round of pit stops, which I would be thinking are a fair way from here, probably another at least half an hour, probably more, 30 to 40 minutes. I think that's going to be the other thing as well. Who can stretch the fuel out the most as well and keep the tyres within the range, as well as keep the right pace. And I think the other thing to keep in mind is the weather changing. So it's 2 times, 2 double speed for the timing. So we started at 4 o'clock and we're currently at 4:35 right now. So we should see some nice sunset images here as well. We saw that yesterday if you watched the great race. The great sprint race it's turned into 132 laps of green flag running it was yesterday. Tenzio gets... Oh, what's happened to Reed? Oh no, facing the wrong way. Let's see what happened to him. This is just out of Murray's. Oh, he's clipped the inside curb. Oh, he's run over and around he goes. He gave the wall a bit of a whack there as well. And oh, that is a tricky spot for him to be in. As we go back to live images right now, and there he is, so making his way out of turn 1. So he has dropped all the way down into P18, considering he started in P11. So his race not heading the way that he thought it would be. As we're having a look at Hildebrandt and Hurley as they go up through the cutting. That's where we saw the accident yesterday that drew the safety car. Only 1 retirement yesterday as well. Was pretty impressive. I think it just goes to show the quality of drivers now across the length of the field is pretty high these days. So Hignett just opening the gap ever so slightly, 1.1 seconds now. The difference between he and Rayton, and then we're on board with Mike East. You can see is right on the rear of the BMW belonging to Terry Rayton, but he's also got company there as well. So he's got Kinnear. Kinnear's going nowhere right now, so he's got the pace to match these guys. Last trip around he did a 2:01.8. Let's see what they do this time. go down the inside of turn 1. The 201.8 flat. Masterson and Rice. What's happened to Adrian Rice? Let's see. That's Masterson side by side with him, going through the chase. And, he just wasn't able to hang on to it. Maybe that was... maybe he had a lower rear wing spec on that car. Hence the lack of grip going through there. So he's making his way into the pits. Not too sure if that will be his evening done or not, but we'll wait and see. In the meantime, we've got some cracking racing going on at the front of the field. Vinny Canero all over the back of the Mustang belonging to Mike East right now as they go across the top of the mountain, across Brock's Skyline, and then make their way down through the S's towards the famous Dipper. And then another super fast part of the track here is the run so far. Oh, you can do that so easily there. The back end, the back of the car gets light through there. So easy just to clip a wall. But not in this case for Vinny. You can tell he's pushing very, very hard right now. 201.8 flat for him. He was the fastest of the 4 front runners. So he's got pace in that Bentley right now. Mike East has got his one eye forward, one eye on the rear view mirror. Keeping Kinero in check right now. Gap just hovering at 1.1 seconds, the difference between Hignett and Rayton at this stage. You can throw a blanket over the top 4 just about as they begin another lap. We've been going 15 minutes now, and we've got a great tussle at the front of the field. That's the Boatley running a little bit wide there at Hell Corner. Vinny going to try for T2 surely. See if he does do that. Neil Fakeney and Jensen. Oh no, we see another Mustang having trouble at the chase. This time it's Zach Jensen. That's Masterson just behind him. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he just got on the grass there. Lost grip and he's kept it off the wall, so that's okay. Nice little 360 pirouette. And we're back to live images. We're on board with Chris Hildebrand. He's got Mark Hurley just ahead of him. They're going to go side by side into turn 2. And nice work there from Chris Hildebrand. He moves up into P11. Where did he start? He started in 12th. What about Terry Rayton? So East and Kinero have dropped right off now. So Jake is cheering on. Come on, Michael. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's happened while we were away, but so Hignett's has maintained the gap between he and and Rayton, but East and Kinero have dropped right off. East at 1.4 seconds the difference, 1.3 seconds the difference between Kinero and East. So something's happened on this lap while we're looking at the other action. And we'll just have to regather it up. So track now at optimum. Track temperature 26 degrees. It's already almost 5 o'clock in game time. Obviously daylight savings, so we won't see sunset for a little while yet. As Canero dropped right off. Now 2 seconds off East. He did a 2:04.130, so he was the slowest of the 4 on that lap. Was Canero. So he's had a little mistake somewhere along that lap. To regain his composure and go again. We're watching Terry Rayton. So last lap around a 2:01.862 to a 2:01.642. So a couple of tenths in it between Hignett and Rayton right now, as we're on board with Terry Rayton. Highest of the silver runners is Peter Wall, so he is circulating right now in P9. And then Wally Masterson, highest of the AM runners. He is in P10 right now, but being hunted down by this man, Chris Hildebrand. He's been on a bit of a charge already. He did start at 12th. I thought he started a little lower than that. It seems like he's been on a charge anyway. Nonetheless, we're watching him just get a little bit loose. He's able to gather it up. And he's looking very racy right now, is the 111 Hildebrand. Here's Hayes and Russell. So they swap positions. Let's have a quick look. Are there any other Australian tracks in the season? No, there isn't. There's only one Australian track in the game. Oh, that's Russell. He just clipped the inside there into Forest Elbow. And that was enough to lose some momentum. And away he goes. So Hayes getting that position. Yeah, there's only... Oh, no! And what is going on here? There's something wrong with this. Oh, is he steering? Or is it pulling to the left? He's got that's wall coming up. Ah, something's gone wrong here for Russell. I don't know if it's an equipment thing or is it a steering thing? I have no idea. Losing spots, hand over fist right now. It's Hurley going through. This would be Fakey and Steele. Yeah, no other. Oh, and that looks like it's going to be it for Paul Russell. And there he goes. He's done. Yeah, so to answer the question, no, there's no other Australian tracks. Yeah, it looked like he hit the wall coming out of the on the way into Forest Elbow there. So I'm not too sure what happened there with Paul Russell, but then he didn't pit afterwards. He could have. Yeah, to answer the question, yeah, there is no other Australian tracks, unfortunately, in this particular sim. Although it would be, cracking. Someone said something about Phillip Island. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But nothing for now. So we're watching Hildebrand and Masterson go at it. And then he's got Hurley there as well as Fakey and Steele getting a snappy oversteer on the exit of Forest Elbow. It's going to be Porsche versus Ferrari. Porsche is going to win out in this case. Top speeds so far recorded. East 289 kilometres. The fastest car in the speed trap. Might have a quick look at him in a moment. So this is his position. So 6/10 the difference between he and Brayton. Kinnero's really dropped off here. So 2.4 seconds. But that last lap, he did a 2:01.615. So he's got the pace. I'm not too sure what happened. You can see him just in the background there. East, a 2:01.697. Rayton did a 2:02.352 on that last lap. So East definitely had the pace advantage. And then Hignett did a 2:01.957, which was 4/10 faster than Terry Rayton. So right now, Hignett doing a good job of controlling this race. We're almost at 5 PM in game time. And track conditions are now at optimum. Track temperature still 26 degrees. Air temperature 21. The forecast is telling us there's going to be sunshine to continue. And we're watching Mike East in the 717 Mustang. All over the back of Terry Rayton as we go on board. So he's got a bit of a reprieve from behind. That last lap, 2:01.78 to Rayton, 2:01.430 to East, so 3/10 to the advantage. And then Kinero almost a second slower on that last lap. So he's going to struggle to hang on to this group here. As we see Hignett flush in the foreground. Here's Hildebrandt. Gets the move done on Masterson. Let's have a look at that on the replay. Oh, look at that for a great helicopter shot. And, oh, nice work. Pulling that up under brakes. Gets the job done, Chris Hildebrandt. We go back to live images. They're going through turn 1 now. Pierre Reid as well. So he's now into P14. Battling it out with Steele, who I think would have a wounded car right now. Sort of laps 206.7. Reed did a 205.2 that last trip around, so Steele might just be a bit of a sitting duck right now. Oh, it's Reed. And we go over to East. Oh, it looked like that was almost going to be the pass. Let's go to the replay. Let's go on bumper cam and see how close he got to Terry Rayton. And I thought there was almost a bit of contact, but it looked a lot closer than what it actually was. As we go back to live images. They're making their way through turn 1 now. So the gap between Hignett and Rayton is sitting at 1.7 seconds. As East, I think, has decided now is his time to pounce. It's 1.7 seconds the gap. As Hildebrandt... Oh, what happened, Latanzio? Let's have a look here. This is through the chase again. I've already seen plenty of action through here in the opening stages. Does he run deep? Oh, oh, that is a big hit. There, the bonnet pops up too. That is usually the sign where it's a hefty amount of damage. But the one saving grace, he was really, really, really close to the pits. So he was able to scoot in there. P. Russell, hardware failure. There you go. J-Mac. Oh, you corrected your spelling as well. What a legend. Yeah, hardware failure. It looked like that. Definitely. So, unfortunate for him. Down to 20. Not too sure what Lee Perkins is doing. There he is. But, yeah, he's joined late again. Not too sure. Yeah, don't know. Anyway, good to see him out there. East once again just lurking. Oh, here we go. He's got to have the outside run here into Murray's, and he gets it done. Nice move from East. Now was the time to go. Let's have a look at that on replay. So he closed right up on him at the chase, and then Terry Rayton just got the smallest snap of oversteer there. And that was enough to let East through. And now moves up into P2. The chase is on for him and Hignett. He'll have to... he's going to have it all to do, though, to keep Rayton behind him. Last lap around. Benjamin Hignett at 2:02.072. Michael East at 2:02 dead flat. So he's got some pace in that Mustang. And I reckon him watching Hignett just starting to skip away a little bit was enough of an impetus to say, nah, I need to get past this guy if I I want to have a chance at winning this race tonight. Still a long way to go, but I can't just let him walk away with this one, Hignett, because he's got good pace. He's in full control. And East now is going to have to try and start applying some pressure to Hignett as Hildebrandt making his way into the pits. That's a very early stop. Brake pedal return spring broke. So brakes got stuck on. Oh, that's rough. That is very rough. So have to get some repairs done on that before the next race. Paul Russell, unfortunately, very rare to see Paul Russell not finish a race. So mechanical failure for him. As we're watching Hurley, his first race of the new season. He's all over the back of Wally Masterson. So Wally Masterson's our highest of our AM runners. Down through the dipper. Making up plenty of ground, Mark Hurley. He's definitely a driver who's not backwards in coming forwards. I'm going to assume he intentionally sabotaged it, given I know his love for Mount Panorama. He was in the chat expressing his disdain for Bathurst. Not everyone's cup of tea. People have their different favourite tracks. That's alright. What about Pierre Reid? So he's making up some ground on his fellow McLaren driver, Neil Fagney. Cut the brake lines and just don't have brakes. Easy fix. See, that's a little bit easier to do that in a sim race, isn't it? Jensen is in the pits as well. So I think they are strategy stops. They might be going for a two-stopper at this stage. We're 20 minutes in. Yeah, not too sure what that's about. Can you just drive against them? Yeah, I wonder. You could wall ride it. I wonder if Paul Gossel wants to let us know. Did he clip the end of the wall? Not disappointed. Put it that way. But was sitting in a decent position. Wasn't pushing and doing 202 mids. Yeah, you were going good, Paul Russell. You were doing fine. So Terry Rayton, he's doing fine as well. The gap now is at 1.7 seconds 1.3 between he and Mike East. The gap between East and Hignett. I wonder if he's having some issues with his tyres right now. East, we saw him slipping and sliding there out of the chase. He's on the grass there, so not too sure what's happening with him at this stage. But the gap is 2.1 seconds. Last lap around 201.867 to Hignett, 201.652 to East. So a couple of tenths to the advantage of East on that last lap. 2.1 seconds the gap between he and Hignett. 1.3 seconds the gap to second and third. So we'll see how this lap pans out. Steele and Hurley having a good little battle. So that car is severely damaged right now after that lap 1 turn 2 incident. So Steele just trying to drive through that to get to the pit stops. You reckon he's probably still got another at least 10 minutes before he can do that. And the gap now just starting to inch out ever further between East and Rayton as Pierre Reid, he's in the pits as well. So some early stops. You'd have to assume that they are there's a trend here. What's a par time? They're all over the shop. 151, 158. Oh, you stopped for 1 minute 20. No, that's Nando Lattanzio. Looks like about a minute is the Looks like about a minute is the pit stop time. Yeah, that looks like it's about the pass score at the moment. Gap has just come down ever so slightly. East was about 1.5 tenths faster on that previous lap. Having a look at the scrap that's going on here for 8th, 9th and 10th between Masterson, Hurley and Steele, as Hayes and Frost. So Frost is making his stop. So this is definitely strategy stops. I reckon they're doing 2 stoppers tonight, looks like. Track at optimum has dropped a degree, so down to 25 seconds. Steele sliding through the chase there. It looks spectacular. It doesn't do spectacular things for the times though. Hurley way past the Mustang. I assume there's a mix of rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cars. Are they all similar power to weight? Well, they've got something called BOP, which is balance of performance. Maybe someone in the chat can explain that a little bit better than me. I think most of them are rear-wheel drive cars, though. I can't think of any that would be all-wheel drive, but yeah, definitely, because they do have quite a mixture of body shapes and weight and things like that. There is a balance of performance. The R8, I think the R8's a rear-wheel drive, the Audi. I'd be willing to bet a sum of money on it that it is. I think most of them, I think nearly all of them out there would be rear-wheel drives. Hildebrand and Frost. What has happened here? Oh, I think that's because Frost was in the pits. Yeah. So the gap out in front while we're watching this battle, it's 1.8 seconds, the difference between between Hignett and East. It's 1.7 seconds, the difference between East and Rayton. It's a good scrap going on right now between Hurley and Masterson. So the highest of the AM drivers is Wally Masterson. Herbert is in P2 in class. He's 11th outright, so 4 positions behind Wally. I think we've gone over half an hour already. We've got 64 minutes left, yep, so we've gone, just over half an hour. It's been an entertaining race so far. It's been all Benjamin Hignett though. Neil Fakeney, he's making the pit stop as well. So are they banking on weather coming later on to make another stop? I'm not sure. 1.6 seconds the gap between Hignett and East. So Hignett was slightly faster on the last lap, but not by much. So when will we see the leaders pit? We're about to broach the breach hour mark remaining, so we might see some stops from the front guys soon. We've had 9 cars across the field have pitted already. So no mandatory pit stops or no mandatory fuel and tyres and stuff like that this evening. It's just a free-for-all in terms of the strategy. Down to 1.5 seconds the gap between East and Hignett. So he's working away at it, is Mike East. He was a couple of tenths faster on the previous lap. He's just got to chip away here. Reed and Fakeney. I think that would be because Fakeney was coming out of the pits. So that would explain why Pierre Reed has jumped him. that was still running deep. He seems to be doing that with his car's condition at the moment. Oh, here we go. I've got an answer. What happened, Matt Frost? Oh, no. Where's that? That is... Oh, that's just out through near Skyline. So he's hit the wall up there. And that's Pierre Reid and Fakeney coming through. So he's just taking evasive action there. And we go back to live images. So he's down there in 14th position. How's that car handling? Be a little bit better, I guess. He's up in the 6th gear, not bad. 1.2 seconds now, the gap between Hignett and East. East is catching him right now. Let's see, Hignett does a 2:02.222. East does a 2:01.797. So the battle is on right now for P1 and P2. Terry Rayton did a 2:02 flat. Kinero did a 2:01.642. So he's caught the back of Terry Rayton in the last couple of laps. So he's inserting himself back into this fight for a podium position. And East and Hignett, it's a straight fight right now. Hayes making his way into the pits. So is Lee Perkins. So they're getting their stops done. Here comes Kinero. Got Rayton just ahead of him. Geez, the Bentley is such a nice car. Oh, look at that for a bit of multitasking there. It's just such a nice, easy car to drive, isn't it? Very comfortable. Doesn't sort of really do too much that you don't expect it to do. It can handle like a boat sometimes, but enjoyable car. That was my first ever car that I drove in ACC. Now, I've got a definitive answer here. So GT3 cars are all rear-wheel drives. So there you go. Yeah, so then you'd have the balance of performance because each car would have natural advantages compared to other cars. So the balance of performance is basically, it's like handicapping cars in different ways. I'm not too sure of the technicalities. And then I think these guys are using the LFM BOP, which would be low fuel motorsport for all those that don't know. It's a what is it? I know what it is, but I can't really explain it. But they set BOP, and I think these guys follow that as well. We're watching Vinny Cadero anyway, hunting down the BMW as they go up Mountain Straight. Is he going to get the job done? He just sneaks up the inside there. Not quite on this trip around. So Kinero all over the back of Terry Rayton right now. Last trip around, Rayton did a 2:02.392. 2:01.710 was Kinero. So all over the back of him. Hurley finally gets past Wally Masterson. Let's see what happened here. So that's Wally just up ahead. And has he gone into the pits? I think he has. Yeah, it's saying that on my timing screen. It is. And Masterson. Yeah, sorry, not Masterson. Hurley is able to go past. So we go back to live images. Back to Kinero. The gap out in front between P1 and P2 is 1.4 seconds the difference. Hignett responded, so he lapped almost half a second faster than East on that previous lap. Here goes Kinero and Terry Rayton side by side at the chase. Who can break the latest? Oh, this is a cracking battle between these two right now. And Kinero making his way into the pit, so he'll make his pit stop. Tricky little pit entry here. You got a few corners to make. You can stuff it up in there pretty easily. So he makes his pit stop. Rayton continues on. 56, just under 57 minutes remaining. So we've done 40 odd minutes. It's gone by pretty quickly, I'd have to say. We've had some entertaining racing. So the gap right now between this driver, Mike East, is 1.4 seconds the difference. Last lap, Hignett at 2:01.687. A 2:01.450 to East. That was only 2/100ths of a second slower than the fastest lap of the race, which also belongs to the 717. So he's got that Mustang humming right now. Does Mike East. So go down through the S's into the dipper. Don't know why they call it the dipper. I'd have to assume for the degree of the corner. I do know why they call it Forest Elbow. Because they, if you believe it or not, they used to race motorcycles around here back in the day. Which is pretty wild to think. As Hurley, he's into the pits. Who was he battling it out with? He was fighting with Hildebrand, I think. No, he was with somebody. Who was he with? Or was it Masterson? Anyway, Hurley still in the pits. Yeah, he's going to lose a spot. So it's about a minute is the par score. The par time right now. Yeah, here comes Masterson. Here's Hurley. Masterson. Hurley. And Masterson's got to get him here. We'll see him just pop out. And there's Mark Hurley. That's Steele behind him. Now Steele has made his pit stop. So that car, I don't think he didn't repair. He hasn't repaired that car. So because he was only in the pits for 1:04. And if he was going to repair that damage, you wouldn't see it like it is now. Terry Rayton is in the pits, one of the leaders. So he's been in there for 37 seconds now. And Steele, you'd have to think, looming pretty large in the rear view mirror of Mark Hurley right now. Pretty brave of him to battle on, so it mustn't be too bad. The damage must look a little bit worse than what it actually is. As just having a look at the timing screen, you can see East is at a second now, the difference. Kinero and Rayton, they've swapped positions. So Kinero has managed to jump Rayton in the pits. So Terry Rayton was in there for 1:03 in total. Kinero 1 minute flat. So once again this week we see a change in position in the pit stops because of a quicker stop. Last week it was East who was able to get that done. He'll be able to repeat the dose. So we should be expecting Hignett in relatively soon, given that nearly the rest of the entire rest of the field is pitted. Wilson, Wall, East and Hignett are the only cars not to have pitted. And we can see here as East is pitting now. So here we go. Mike East has to hit his marks. And then how long will Hignett go? I think Hignett will stay out. He'll stretch it as far as he can possibly go. That's just my guess. And he's going to have to manage that gap because the time will be a minute. He hits his mark. Hignett, off he goes. This is Kinero. There we go. Cameraman is caught up. East has about another 30 seconds left in the pits. So a minute flat. Kinero, quickest pit stop. Hayes did a minute, so did Masterson. East still stationary. Kinero making his way just under the bridge into Murray's. East still stationary. And he's on the move. Here's Kinero down the front straight. We might even see a flash of East. Kinero is going to make his way through, but East is going to stay out ahead. So he gets that job done. A minute 4 though. So Kinero is nice and close to East. There's the longest stop. A minute 4. So now the question is going to be Hignett. When will he decide to stop? Yeah, my gut says that he's going to go long, because that's what he normally does. Generally not the conventional in terms of he doesn't necessarily pit in sequence with everyone else. And we've seen him go long before. So let's just ride with him though. He could make it a fool out of me and then pit. No, he doesn't. He goes around for at least one more lap. So the gap between them is at 59.5 seconds, the difference between Benjamin Hignett and Mike East. So East... Oh, Kinero! Did he lose that then? Let's go to the replay. Let's have a look here as he goes to the top. Across Skyline. Oh, he did indeed. Oh, he's hit the wall, Kinero. He's managed to keep it moving the right way, though. That was a big time save from Vinny Kinero. Great driving to manage to not turn that around, because that would have been a very, very awkward part of the racetrack to do it up there. So he's escaped there. That's going to put a bit of a dent, though, in his chase for East. So he's 3.5 seconds to the rear of the 717. He's chasing down Benjamin Hignett, and now he's got Terry Rayton right behind him. 1 second of the difference. There we go. We can see the Mustang there. So the gap is at 59.5 seconds still. That's about where East is going to want to maintain this. And that means that Hignett will absolutely have to nail his stop. But the longer he goes, the less fuel he's going to need. So that will affect his stop time as well. And setting up for a nice finish here. It's almost 6 p.m. in game time. Track's at optimum. It's gone down in temperature again. So James Mack said that in the chat. The track would cool off. And currently 23 degrees. Air temperature is 20 degrees. A little bit of wind out there right now. And looks like this forecast still has the sunshine. So no weather. What is Hignett doing? He's going for another lap. So he's going to go long. That's Hildebrandt just getting out of the way. But the gap is now at 59 seconds. So he's taken a half a second chunk out of Hignett. Has East. So still plenty of time left in this one. So if he was to pit Hignett and come out behind East, there'd still be plenty of time to go. So we're only just over halfway anyway. So very, yeah, we've got a long way still to go in this one. As Terry Rayton, Kinero's managed to recover from last lap. He had that little adventure across the top of the mountain. I thought it was interesting actually. Mark Larkham did a little piece to camera before the race yesterday, sitting around a campfire talking. He got asked who's going to win Bathurst, and he did the whole spiel, and he was like, the mountain choose the driver. The winner doesn't choose, the mountain chooses the winner. But yesterday, I reckon the fastest car and the fastest driver most definitely won yesterday. Don't often see that happen. Here's Peter Waugh is in the pits, making his way through. We go back to Steele and Masterson. So Wally Masterson, highest of the AM drivers. Everyone's made their stop, made at least one stop. Hignett, the only driver out there to have not made a stop. That's his top speed by Steele, 282. Masterson, 288. So that damage there, just impeding that car a little bit. And Hignett goes again. The gap still hovering. It's at 59 seconds now, 58, 58.7. So East continuing to maintain the pace that he needs to. And that's, who is that coming out of there? Is that Peter Wall? No, I don't think it is. I think it was it Wilson? I think it was. Yeah, it was. And that's Lee Perkins. So that's the leader coming through. So that'll be traffic for East to have to deal with at some stage too. Not in the too distant future. It's still a minute away. So down to 58.5 seconds, the gap between Hignett and East. He needs about a minute. The longer he goes, though, the less time he will need. But if he had a gap of a minute, he'd be pretty good in terms of being safe to not be overtaken, but it'd still be very, very close once he gets out. So I think the good thing here is that it is setting up for a grandstand finish. The track has gotten cooler again, 22 degrees now. So it's dropped a couple of degrees recently. It's 6:03 p.m. in game time as well. And I'm pretty sure it uses the actual daily forecast of the day, and apparently it was set to be cooler in the evening. Here's Max Ricker making his stop from P16. Credit to Max Ricker for battling on. He could have easily just thrown it in after that lap 1 incident. He stayed out there and is circulating right now. P16 Wilson gets out of the way. Masterson just up ahead, chasing down Moore and Hildebrandt as well. So this is all for position. Cloud definitely rolling in. Not too sure if with any rain in those clouds though. The forecast says that there isn't. But you can see the sun's sort of disappearing. It is 6:05, I guess. That's Steele wanting to put a move on Masterson into Hull Corner, and he does. Nice work there. Let's go on board with that one and see how that came about. So as he comes out of Murray's Corner, and heads to the left, sends it under brakes. Nicely done. Gets the pass completed, and away he goes, and back to live images as they're going up towards the cutting. As Peter Wall now chasing down Hildebrandt. Hignett has continued on for another lap. So the gap is at 59 seconds, the difference. He needs about a minute to be comfortable. That would cover any possible mistakes that he might make in the pits. Been racing for almost an hour. Still have 43 minutes left in this one. Round number 2. We're off to Suzuka next week for round number 3. .59.5 seconds the gap between Hignett and East. Just opening it up ever so slightly. Still 22 degrees air temperature, but cloud starting to block out any sun, the lights you can see, just having a little bit more effect from the cars. Here's Pierre Reid, he got past Hurley. Let's see how that came about. This will be a classic draft up Conrod, and then down the inside through the chase. Oh, well, this is through the outside at the chase, and then pulling it up under brakes Nice work, James Pierre-Reid. He moves himself up into the top 10. Where did he start? He started in 11th. So good comeback from him. And look at this little quartet. Hildebrandt, Wall, Steele and Masterson. So Hildebrandt and Wall, they're actually battling it out right now for the leader of the silver class. So there's the silver class lead on the line here. Hignett, he has continued around again, so he's about halfway through this lap. Pit stop shouldn't be too far away. Gap is at 59 seconds right now between he and East. Steele running it very close to the wall there. Doing the ATR Bathurst 6 hour coming up on Ruse TV. We're doing that top 10 shootout this weekend. 8 o'clock Sunday night. Should be fun. And then 6 hours of Bathurst next weekend, the 27th on the Sunday. So that'll be fun. Second time doing that with ATR. Had a lot of fun last time. Very, very hungover. Extremely hungover last year. So I'm planning on being in bed nice and early this Saturday night. I don't want to do that hungover again. That was rough. So tune in if you want. Sunday night we're doing 8 o'clock. Doing the top 10 shootout and then the race next Sunday. I don't know what time we're starting, like 12 o'clock I think. Have to be relatively early. Hignett has continued on for another lap as well. So the gap just extending out ever so slightly, 59.3. Last lap around, East 201.652. Hignett 201.702. Now I don't think Hildebrandt's necessarily holding these guys up. It doesn't seem like it to me. 204.1 was the last lap. 204.3 and a 2. The rest of them were doing 204.3s. Reid did a 202.450 on that last lap, so he's faster than the 4 cars ahead of him. But I definitely, the other guys, they're all on just similar pace right now. That's why we're not seeing any overtaking going on, although Steele wants to change that fact. Track down to 21 degrees now, almost matching the air temperature. As you can see, that sun is pretty much gone away, been covered with clouds, and there's just cloud cover to come. There's no sun in the forecast. Will we see weather at the end? Hurley and Reid. Oh, what happened, Reid? Where is he? Let's see what happened here. Oh, bang! That's a huge hit from Masterson. Into the wall, Hennig. I see Hignett East showdown has continued from last week. How's Herb going? Up the Red Rebels. Hang on. I got confused again. Sorry. This is still the replay. We're back. How's Herb? He's going good. He's in 15th right now. There he is. He started in 20th and currently 15th. He did make up those 5 spots pretty much, I think, on the opening couple of laps. I think you can go back through the chat. But yeah, he's in 15th right now. He's second in class, but Wally Masterson had a big hit across. Look at that. That's brutal. So he's going to be in the pits for a long time. And Herbert might be taking the AM lead. And Adrian Rice making his way into the pits. So there's probably a scheduled pit stop for him, a strategy pit stop. Hignett has continued to circulate. And East now 59.4 seconds the difference between he and Hignett. Needs about a minute gap to be relatively safe as Steele gives the wall a bit of a whack. Fighting that car already. Did Michael pit? Yes, he's pitted. So the gap that we're looking for is roughly pit stops, the total pit stop time. The reason I keep on referring to that minute gap is that the total pit stop time, so from the time that you enter the pits to make the stop and then exit the pits, is about a minute. Roughly between a minute and a minute 4 is being the time. So right now, Hignett is 59.6 seconds ahead of East, which, so don't cry too much, Jake, because if he keeps this at this pace, that's what I mean. Hignett still needs to pit. He's going again for another lap. So what I'm trying to explain... Oh, what's happened to Reed? He's had a hit across the top of the mountain into Forest Elbow. That was a big one too. So, unfortunately for him... Yes, Dialocket. Hignett is going to pit soon. Yeah, he has to pit soon. So he can't have much left. So Reed's going to have to limp that back to the pits. Go back to live images. Oh, and he's only made it as far as the chase. I think he's teleported back. Right, so East is 59 seconds the gap. So the fastest pit stop we've seen today is 59 seconds exactly. That was Peter Wall, who's currently down in 8th position. And Max Rickett did it in 59 seconds as well. So if Hignett can maintain this and East can maintain the gap, it's hovering around about 58.9 to 59 seconds, then East will have this in hand. So once Hignett pits, then we are going to have a race on our hands. So just sit tight. We've got to wait for Benjamin Hignett to make his pit stop, and which should not be too far away. Should be pretty close, I would think. Now, because he has gone longer though, he's going to have less fuel to put in towards the end. So that minute may drop down to, say, 50 seconds possibly. So don't know yet. And the pit lane's quite tricky as well. It's not your standard just one corner pit lane. There's a sort of a little snake left right combination that you've got to traverse as well. So it's going to be a lot of pressure. And we're into almost the final half now. 35 minutes remaining. So he's going to have to absolutely nail it, hit his marks. And lap times have been pretty even between both of them. 201.792 for Hignett on that last one. Compared to the previous lap, that was a 10th slower than East's previous lap. We'll see what he does this trip around. Track still optimum. Air temperature has gone down to 19. Track temperature is 21 degrees right now as well, so that's continued to drop. 6:26 in-game time. Plenty of cloud cover right now, so that's keeping the track at optimum conditions. But it could play a little bit of a role with the lower temperatures, making the track a little bit less grippy. Rayton and Kinero. So Kinero done a great job here. He's fending off Terry Rayton. So that's no easy feat for him. Well, it's no easy feat in general. So Kinero doing a fantastic job. He started in 5th position, and then he sort of broke away with the front 4 group, and he's done a fantastic job hanging in with them. He had a quick pit stop as well. A minute 4 for East and a minute 3 for Terry Rayton. Will this be the lap that Hignett comes in? How many have we done? 32. So 32 around a 6.2 kilometre track. Gaps at 59 on the button. It has to be super soon for Hignett. How long have we been going? 67 minutes been going for. So yeah, East did a 201.532, so almost 3/10 faster than Hignett on that previous lap. 59 seconds is the live gap. And Hignett goes again, so he continues to circulate. A 201.9 for that lap. We'll keep an eye on on what East does as well. He's still about 40 seconds away from completing his lap with just over 32 minutes left. Steele has been looking for a way past Hildebrandt for a little while now. Hildebrandt's been doing a great job at defending. Now Peter Wall, he's just behind these two. Hildebrandt's the leader of the silver class, and he's got Steele in between he and P2. Hurley, the yellow car in the background there, he is in P9, but he's third in the silver class as well. So the silver class championship here, the top three are all sort of within striking distance of one another. And Jack Steele, after his last week, P4 I think it was last week, doing a great job. East 2:01.475, so almost half a second faster than Hignett. The gap is at 58.6 seconds. This is going to be tight. It's going to be super tight, even if he does it. 58 seconds. How long do we need? Maybe 55-second pit stop. We will be finding out relatively soon. Any lap now, Hignett will have to make his pit stop. As mentioned, he is known for going long on his stints, setting us up. It's dropped into the 57s now. I think Hignett's in the pits. Here he goes. Here it is. All right, the gap was at about 58 seconds. He's going to have to hit his marks here. This is a pressure pit stop right now. And let's see where he makes his way in. We'll have to make sure that he's got all these settings sorted, that he actually does fill it up with fuel. It's going to be more than a splash and dash because he's got 30 minutes still remaining. And there he goes. Bang. He's stationary. Here's East coming down Conrod Straight. That was, I think Steele has managed to get past Hildebrandt. Nice work. So back to Mike East. Here's Hignett. He's been in the pits for 43 seconds. There he goes. And he's done. So East just coming through Murray's. That was a super quick stop. 44 seconds to Benjamin Hignett. He's managed to squeeze those extra, how many? He went an extra 20 minutes than East. So the gap now sits at 17.6 seconds, the difference. Peter Wall and Hildebrandt. We see Hildebrandt wall riding there as they go up through the cutting. So this was on the replay as they're going up through Griffin's Bend. This is where we saw Hildebrandt making a bit of contact with the wall. There he goes. Gives it a bit of a kiss. And away he goes. So that's Peter Wall, the reigning silver class champion, P7 outright and leader of the silver class with 29 minutes remaining. Kinero and Rayton battling it out right now. Kinero currently third at 2:02.462 and 2:01.872 to Rayton, as we see sparks flying there. 19 degrees air temperature, 20 degrees track temperature. Cloud cover is on the forecast. No rain as of right now. That could obviously change. And just to give you a bit of an idea on the gap, so it's at 16.6 seconds. So with Hignett going 20 minutes longer, as Frost looks like he's made contact with something. So with Hignett going longer, 20 minutes longer, about 22 minutes to be precise. He only needed 44 seconds in total, which is about 20 seconds faster than what East was pitted for, and gives him a pretty comfortable buffer right now. But 28 minutes still to go in this one, all to do for East. In the meantime, we'll focus on this battle going on for third and fourth, as Stranger in the chat cheering on car number 717. What sort of lap does Kinero do? He'll feel like 27, almost 28 minutes is an eternity right now to try and keep that Aqua Laundry House coloured car behind him. 202 flat to a 202.3. So Canero managing to hold his own right now. Putting a sterling drive. Would be a very, very well-deserved podium for him. Had some bad luck last season with some equipment failures. But starting this season off, where was he last week? Did he have I think he had a crash, I think, last week. Didn't finish in the top 10. I know that for sure. Anyway, long way still to go. So Hildebrand and Hurley now. So the top 3 for silver class. Oh, sparks flying. Wind has picked up ever so slightly. It's gone from 4 kilometres to 5 kilometres. And I think Frost is just going to soldier on with that damaged Mercedes for the next 26 minutes. Let's see. Oh, that's the slower Mercedes I was just referring to. As Rayton, is he going to be able to get this done? Canero not giving this up without a fight. He might be able to duck down the inside. He doesn't. Great driving from both of these guys. Good, hard, fair, clean racing between the two. And Canero manages to fend him off for at least another lap. And then the other battle we've got going on here is this is the battle for first, second, third and fourth in silver class. So that battle really heating up at the moment. Canero last lap around 203.3, 203 flat to Rayton, so 3/10 the advantage to Canero. Sorry, to Rayton on that previous lap. Open up a bit of ground there, has Canero, so Rayton may have made a little mistake. Sort of getting into the back end of the race. It's 10:30, almost 10:30 Eastern Daylight Savings Time, so starting to get to that time of the evening where that mental fatigue as well as physical fatigue can kick in. Depends what you do for a job. If you're a white collar worker, you're not as physically tired as you would be, say, a labourer or a blue collar sort of tradie, for example. It's a different kind of tired. But anyway, these guys battling it out right now. Race has kind of settled down a little bit. So Hignett, though, the gap between he and East is at 15.5 seconds. So it's not a bad gap. Last lap around, East was 6/10 faster. Oh, that was on the previous. He's just completed this last lap. So direct comparison, 4/10. So he's taking out some chunks of Hignett. Those chunks need to be a bit bigger if he wants to try and have a crack at winning this. And we're not going to see any weather have an effect here because on the forecast you can actually see it. There's a little bit of sun poking through. It's 6:48 PM in game time. Track settled on 20 degrees. Air temperature is 19. We switch across to this battle going on here. Going across the top of the box skyline. Last lap around 203.6, 204.4. time. That's Hurley. So this is all 4th position. This is the silver class podium right now. We will be doing post-race interviews as well because we got the green room sorted after the kerfuffle last week. It was deleted for some reason, so we couldn't do it. So we'll definitely be doing it this week. It's just going to be who will be in there. What sort of lap does Hignett do? He's not too far ahead of these guys. 202 flat. Let's see what East responds with. His last lap was a 201.6. We'll see what he does on this trip around. His wall kicks up a little bit of dust out of turn 1 at 201.940. So taking time out of Hignett, but not quite enough as Wall and Hildebrandt going side by side up Mountain Straight. Mark Hurley will be watching this with eagerness. Just be saying to himself, you make one little mistake here, you can end up taking each other out, and I will take the lead of Silver Class. They're running it nice and close to the wall, up through the cutting. This is some great driving from Hildebrandt. Wall going to have to defend for his life here. It's a bit of a one-way track across the top of the mountain, so he's going to have to try and just stay with him until they get to Conrod. And even then, the BMW has a slight advantage, about a 1 kilometre advantage in terms of top speed over the Porsche so far. So Hildebrandt will like his chances. Hurley 283, Fakeney 285. So he's just on the back of these guys as well. There he is, the Kevin Bartlett Channel 9 liveried McLaren. Hildebrandt not close enough for an attack, but he's going to have to defend Hurley here. Hurley a little bit too far back as well, so it's all maintaining the status quo at this stage for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Rayton all over the back still of Kinero as they go through the chase. Oh, that's some nice driving from Vinny Kinero. Nice car positioning there, making it extremely difficult, as he's more than well within his rights to do, for Terry Rayton. That was a better lap from East. So the latest lap from Hignett, he did a 202.6. East did a 201.980, so about 0.6 faster. The gap is at 15 seconds right now between East and Hignett. As Hurley, he's looking to get past Hildebrandt through the cutting. Oh, was that contact? I think it might have been. Let's see. Here we go. So that's Hildebrandt making his way through. Hurley just has to pull out of it. Does he die? It looks like a little lunge there. And yeah, a bit of contact from Fakeney on Hurley. And looks like they've redressed there as well. So that could possibly be a steward's investigation if he decides to launch a protest there after the race. But Hurley coming 9th. That's been a big let-off for this man here, Hildebrandt. But he's still chasing down Peter Wall, who is our current silver class leader. So after last week, where did he finish? He finished out of the top 10, that's for sure. And there's only 2 silver runners last week. So Peter Wall, the championship defence, didn't get off to the best start, but he's certainly redeeming himself this evening. Less than 18 minutes remaining right now. There's Fakeney and Hurley going at it. As well as Rayton and Kinero. Kinero just holding No, it was Rayton with the advantage on the last trip. Let's see what they do now. Oh, it's nothing in it. 6/100ths of a second between the two. Oh, what's happened to... That does not make any sense at all. So it says Wally Masterson's overtaken Adrian Rice, but Wally Masterson's... Yeah, not too sure what's happened there. It's a pity we haven't seen this car a bit more on the screen because it's a beautiful livery. Looks sensational. Adrian Rice is down there in 16th. He started in 15th, so look, not the worst day. I think he has had a couple of pit stops, so yeah, he's pitted twice today. But yeah, beautiful looking Mustang there. That's Hayes. We haven't seen a lot of Hayes today. He's up 7 spots from where he started. So he's up 2 spots. He started in 7th, so he's up 2 spots from where he started in P5. So good race from him so far this evening. I think he had a D. Was it a DNF where he had a crash last week? We get back to these two. So last trip around, Hignett was actually a 10th faster than East on that last lap. 14 seconds is the gap between P1 and P2. 16 minutes remaining. Look, not out of the realms of possibility. If Hignett makes a mistake, that's what it's really going to sort of come down to, you'd have to think, at this stage, as we're not far away from the final quarter hour of round number 2 of the Race on Oz PC League season, the last season, season 4 for 2024, 9-rounder. This is round number 2, round number 3 next week in Suzuka. Then we'll take a little break, and then we'll be back for the second third of the season. 6/100ths of a second once again separating these two. This is 2 of the closest cars on circuit right now. Hurley and Hildebrandt, they're still battling it out. They're just a little bit further up the road. That is East. So I wonder if Hignett is dealing with a little bit of traffic there as well. It can be quite tricky, especially this part of the track, when you get the blue flags waved. In particular when you're in a battle as well as Hurley is. But he gets out of the way. Nice work. Track now down to 19 degrees, matching the air temperature. That wind still at 5 kilometres, but not blowing in any weather at all. It's all clear for the remainder of this one as Hildebrandt gets out of the way, and the knock-on effect of that is when you need to slow down to let another car pass, you not only let the car pass, but you let the other ones get a little bit closer, and that's what that's done for 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the silver class. That's exactly what it's done, and it's bunched them up again. And this is Fakeney all over the rear bumper of Hurley as they head down Conrod straight through the chase. The original version of the track didn't have the chase there, so it used to be just a straight shoot down into Murray's, but due to safety considerations they decided to put the chase in because it was becoming too dangerous without having something to slow the cars down through there. They were getting too fast, so I'm not too sure what year that happened, but yeah, it used to be a straight shoot straight down there. We go on board with Fakeney. Up through Griffins. I think Griffins Bend is like named after a bear or something. There's so many corners around the Nordschleife that are like that. It was named after this guy who lived in the area. He was a mayor. So 14.5 seconds is the gap between East and Hignet. Yeah, Hignet lapped 3/10 faster on that previous lap. Oh, there you go. Name that. I was right. Hang on. This is fake me. Isn't that a lovely sight? Go side by side here, and Fakey gets it done. He just got on the inside curb there that sort of bounced the car around a little bit. But, oh, nice work anyway. And all's well that ends well. Neil Fakey now moves up into P9, car number 9 in P9. The gap between Rayton and Kinero as well. So Rayton and Kinero is at 2.2 seconds. And so here's Hurley chasing down Fakey and Hildebrand. Yeah, so I was right about Griffin's Bend, named after Martin Griffin, the mayor of Bathurst, from 1931 to 1941. So the circuit opened in 1938. There you go, Griffin's Bend. Martin Griffin. What about the chase? Oh, there you go. It was introduced as a safety upgrade. 1987 was named the Caltex Chase. Until that backing eventually... Oh! Backing eventually ended. That could have almost been fake. His race ended, and it's just gone from bad to worse. Yeah, that was not good. Let's go to the replay here. So what? Oh, he just got upset a little bit. And oh, he's cut the wall, and then he's got on the grass. He's spun it around. Contact with Hurley. He's going to go on again, and... yeah, that's where we ended up. So he's going through Forest Elbow now. So 9.5 minutes remaining. Not too sure if he'll decide to pit or not. That's Frost behind him. That's 4th position. We've got 2 very wounded cars circulating right now. Wall. Here's our silver class leader. Track temperature now at 18 degrees. Once again, matching the air temperature. Still at optimum. The sun coming out. Wonder what it'll be like up through the cuttings. Especially with these conditions, that late light. See how it is when we get up there. Too bad through there. Kinero's in the pits. What's happened, Vinny? Oh no! This is a replay, would you believe? He's teleported back, so he's hit something. You can see the damage there, especially around the front of the car. Yeah, that's not good. That is not what you want. And yeah, that's game over for him. That's a real disappointment, that is. He was on track to finish a podium position, so within the final 10 minutes of the race, 9 minutes of the race in fact, and it is finished unceremoniously with a pit stop there. So unfortunate for him. That is where he is. Hildebrand making a pit stop as well. Having a couple of the attrition rate is waning a little bit. in the dying stages. So the gap's down to 11.8. Well, it was down to 11.8. About 12 seconds now, the difference. About 1.5 seconds faster was East on that previous lap. So maybe that was a bit of lap traffic that Hignett had to deal with, maybe. Let's see what the up through the cutting is like in terms of... Yeah, watch this. Oh, blasting with the sun right through there. That's rough. So yeah, Ricker getting in a final overtake. So great way to battle back, Max Ricker. He started in 4th, currently P11. He has fought on valiantly throughout this race. So reigning defending champion, 2-time champion, has definitely soldiered on like a good trooper and is up into P11 with 6 minutes remaining. As Fakeney and Frost, these are the two closest cars out on circuit. So it looks like Hildebrand is going to finish in the pits. So at this stage, Robin Herbert is the AM class leader. So I'll have to get the post-race interviews. I don't think I've ever spoken to Benjamin Hignett before. This will be a first time. Silver and then Pro. So Pro, yeah, so Silver's War. Alright. There we go. So he's got Wally Masterson behind him, 55 seconds down the road, as Frost is overtaken by Hurley. It was only 4/10 the difference on that previous lap. So it's over bar the shouting. Hildebrand is made his way out, so whatever he wanted to do in the pits, he's done. And he's rejoined in P16. Here's Frost. He's chasing down Fakeney. So we're just playing out time now. So silver class, Hurley is 9.3 seconds behind Peter Wall. So Peter Wall looks like he's got this sewn up. And then Robin Herbertron is P13 right now. He started in P20. Wow, there you go. Where did Peter Wall start? Peter Wall started in 13th. And Benjamin Hignett, he was in 1st. That's where he's remained for the majority of the race. As we so often see, the pit stops there, just going long is usually the way to go. James Bridgens cheering on Herbert. As we're just less than 4 minutes remaining. How many laps is that going to be? That will probably be 2 after this one. Lapping in 2-minute laps right now. So, yeah, a couple of laps left to go. And that will be all she wrote for round number 2. These are the closest 2 cars out on track. Uh, 11 seconds now, the difference between East and Hignett. Rundown. Who's been the highest? Who's been the biggest riser? Mark Hurley. So he started in 16th, now in 7th. So up 9 spots. Sun, so brutal. Right, now Peter Wall, he started 13th, so up 7 spots into 6th. Herbert, he started 20th, up into 13th, so 7 spots. And the biggest fallers, unfortunately, is this man here, Max Ricker. Started 4th, down 7 spots into 11th. But I still think that's a gritty drive from Ricker, just in terms of what he's had to get through, having been caught up in that lap 1, turn 2 incident, which I'm sure there'll be protests lodged to the TDP. Don't look too favourably on turn 1, lap 1 incidents. And this is the final lap as Hignett making his way through Hell Corner. We didn't have the hell through turn 1, it was hell through Griffin's. Martin Griffin, the mayor of Bathurst from 1931 to 1941. That's a good stint, isn't it? 10 years. 10 years of mayoral duties. I'm sure being the mayor back then would have been a bit more of a bigger deal than it is today. It's not really that big of a deal, is it, being the mayor of a city these days? I think we got mayoral elections in the city of Melbourne coming up soon. Oh, just getting nice and close to the wall there. There you go. The S's in the dipper. This section also takes its name directly from the circuit's layout. There you go. So nothing particularly specific about why it's called that, just according to the layout. Still a pretty unique characteristic. The level of elevation that changes is quite significant. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure Neil Crompton said it about 30 times on the broadcast. Oh, here you go. 862 metres above sea level at its highest point. There you go. Pretty decent. It's almost a kilometre. As Benjamin Hignett comes through the chase for the final time. And he is about to complete his final lap. The clock's gone 000. He started in P1 last week. He was P3. He's jumped a couple of spots. Benjamin Hignett comes to the final turn. Congratulations. Round number 2 race winner. Car number 471. Benjamin Hignett. And he looks like he's pretty happy about that. And so he should be. A great drive from him. He went the extra 20 minutes longer in the stint. That's what gave him the advantage in terms of the pit stop. So 44-second pit stop at the end. Michael East, he tried hard. He gave it a fair crack. He comes home in P2. Congratulations to him. A great drive nonetheless. Although he wouldn't go one up on the podium. Here's Terry Rayton. He's in 3rd position. So a good rebound from last week. Finishing P7. And one of the final cars on the lead lap is Mitch Hayes. Mitch Hayes, he started in 7th, so he's going to come home in 4th, up 3 spots. But Benjamin Hignett is doing a victory lap. That's how happy he is about it, as Mitch Hayes comes through the chase for the final time. It's Steele. Now, Peter Wall, he's taking out the silver class victory. Congratulations to him. And Robin Herbert, he has claimed the AM class victory as well. So we'll get those guys in the chat shortly. We'll get all this finished. This is Ricker coming through. Wilson and Perkins are the other ones. Let's just quickly finish this off. Well done, Max Ricker. Good job to stay out there. Could have easily chucked it in after the first lap, but didn't. He comes home in P10, and Lee Perkins, very famous name in motorsport, especially around here. He's going to be the last car. He was late, but he got here. He's going to finish P16, P18. There we go. So that is race done. Let's do, hang on a second. Let's get the replay. Yep, and then we'll do some post-race interviews. And we'll wrap this up. Alright, there we go. Yep. And all right. All right. Just hold in there. Hang on. Where are we? Where is it? Green room. All right. Just setting it up. Jump in the green room. Oh, we got one. Post-race interview. All right. Peter Wall, are you there?
I am, mate.
What's going on? How are ya?
I am absolutely knackered. Jeez, that was a hard-ass race.
Well, congratulations. You started the race in 13th position. You've finished, 7th, I think it was, somewhere around there.
Sixth, I think, maybe. I don't know.
6th, yeah. So walk us through the race. Did you? I don't think you got caught up in the early race shenanigans there, up into Griffin's Bend.
I got caught up a little bit with some nose-to-tail action, which caused me about 7 seconds damage, but luckily it was pretty minor, so
Yep.
it was enough to put me in clear air for a while, but had some pretty absolute crazy battles through that race. That battle with Chris Hildebrandt for the last 20-odd minutes of that race was insane.
Yeah, that was good. Up through the cutting, he sort of made a bit of contact with the wall there.
I did, yeah, I didn't see that, but yeah, side by side, really good racing, and yeah, that was bloody hard work with steel in there as well. But yeah, wasn't expecting that at all, considering my computer was in pieces half an hour before the race. It wouldn't even start. So
Oh wow!
I'm happy to be here.
What was wrong with it?
It was overheating, and then I was trying to work on it, and then it wouldn't post at all. So I'm still not 100% sure, but it's working now. But I had to run the aircon very cold, and I've got all the covers off, and
Yeah.
look at it before next week.
Yes, well, yeah, definitely a good idea. Well, congratulations, mate. Last week was...
Average?
Pardon?
Average or terrible. I think is the
Yeah,
word.
let's go with average. Average is a bit more forgiving. It was average, but this week was exceptional. A class victory, so your first of the season. And you got your defence underway.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, no, awesome race, and yeah, glad it all went pretty well. And as always, thanks for commentating.
What happened with the start time? What happened with that? Were you the one who got to be Wolsey? Yeah, you forgot. What's going on with it? We're going to get the start time sorted for the next one?
Yeah, it's yes, they should all enduro should be there 15 minutes earlier, and with slightly less practice, that's a mistake.
Nice.
We will need to fix
All
for the
good.
rest of them.
All good. All right, cheers. Thanks, mate. Have a great night.
Cheers, mates.
See ya. All right. Next, we've got Robin Herbert or Herbertron. How are ya?
Good, mate.
What do I call you? Because you changed your name in the.
You can keep calling me Herbertron unless people get confused on the web. But,
No, I'm gonna call you Herbertron. You qualified in P20, and then you've come home in P15, I think it is, and you made up a bunch of spots on the first lap, on the sort of first opening laps or so. Walk us through that.
I think it was lower than P15, but that's all right. Just a free ride with them crashing at the end of the mountain straight. So there was a few of us that just had a free tiptoe through the tulip, so to speak. So
Yep.
got some cheap places there, and my strategy was just to play it safe and minimise as much damage as possible, and just actually just sort of go around in the 204s, 205s, and just watch everyone else crash, which, you know, I think James Pierre, but he helped me with Wally because it was Wally's race, really.
Yep.
But I heard him apologise to Wally, so he must have given Wally a bit of damage, which put him in the pits, which put him a minute behind me.
Yeah, I know Wally hit the wall pretty hard. I can't recall if I can't recall seeing Pierre Reid give him a hand with it at all. But
he might have been just some bad luck type thing or something. But
yeah. But
that's the way it goes. I've been crashed out, so
yeah,
when I've been in the lead. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just just out for a Sunday drive, basically, just playing it safe. It's not my strongest track, especially not in the Ferrari. Macca around here, I can go a lot better, another second and a half better, but yeah, it's just taking it easy.
Yeah, well, you did fantastic tonight, and yeah, good to. That's 2 in a row. You've had 2 class victories in a row to start the season off. It's a perfect start.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting tonight. I was just limiting damage and what have you. So it was a bit fortunate, but yeah, that's the way it goes. But yeah, I'll take it.
Steady. I wouldn't say slow, but steady wins the race.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
you were definitely
exactly.
that tonight. All right, nice.
All right, mate. No worries. Thanks for the stream as always.
No, all good. All right, have a good night.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
All right, so I'm looking for Benjamin Hignett. He's not in the chat, but I got someone who is Michael East. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on?
Oh, I had a good race, but he took a better strategy than me. I don't think he took tyres, so he just took petrol, and then that's how he gained so much time on me.
Yeah, well, he went.
Tyres and full fuel.
Yeah, he went 20 minutes longer than you. So, yeah, 44 seconds in total was his stop. So.
Okay, so he did take tyres then.
Yeah. So you took a tyres and a little splash of fuel, but I think your pit stop total was 1:04. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then because the other guys, because you were about 57 seconds behind him when he came into the pits, but it was that 44 seconds. Because if he had done a normal stop, if he didn't go long, then it would have been neck and neck, super close.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At the start, I had a good race, so.
Yeah, so you have a lot of people in the chat that are all cheering you on. So what's the deal? What are you a big deal of some sort, or what's the story?
Well, they're my friends, and people I play games with and stuff. I just link them the stream. They like to cheer me on.
Yeah, well, they do a good job of it. They were in the chat again tonight, so just whenever you're racing, they're always eagerly cheering you on. So good to get you on the post race. And are you sticking around for the rest of the season, or are these just the only?
I should be.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, it was good to see you able to challenge for another victory tonight. But we'll see how you go at Suzuka next week.
Yeah, thanks.
Beautiful. All right, well, nice to virtually meet you. And maybe hearing from you again in the near future.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, mate. Bye. All right, that is everything done, everybody. So we didn't get Benjamin Hignett in there, but maybe he can come in the next one. I'm not too sure. But that's pretty much everything for this evening. So that wraps up round number 2. We're back to the sprint 60-minute format next week. As mentioned, we're going to do 60 minutes around Suzuka. So looking forward to that one. Be the same time, same channel. Until then, take care of yourselves. My name's Nick. I'll see you next time.